Hi everyone, good morning. In our previous session, when we are trying to convert a physical machine to virtual and virtual machine to virtual, we encountered a few errors. So in this session, we will try to resolve that error and we can convert our virtual machine to our VMware Workstation VM to we can convert into a ESX VM or vCenter virtual machine. So the agenda is still the same like our previous session. Okay. And as we discussed in our vCenter converter, the purpose of VMware converter is it allows you to convert your physical machine to virtual machine, and we can convert any power on virtual machine to vSphere infrastructure virtual machine or any of the host based virtual machine product. And similarly, it will also help you to convert Hyper-V virtual machine to VMware vSphere infrastructure VM or host based virtual machine. And now today's session, I'm going to show you the converting a one of the power of VMware Workstation VM, trying to convert into a ESX virtual machine. So this is the task we are going to perform. From power of virtual machine is our source and destination is VMware infrastructure. We can use either ESXi host we can use, or we can use vCenter server, or we can try both type of conversions. We can try to convert the power of VM to ESXi first and followed by vCenter VM. So quickly log into our home lab. Okay. So once we log into our home lab system, in our workstation, we have a vCenter server is running and we have nested ESXi host. We have three ESX virtual machines and one Active Directory. And we also have another physical box is running with a ESX operating system, which is ESXi4. So in the physical ESXi host, I just disconnected from our vCenter server. So just to do our two tests. One test is converting the virtual machines to the direct ESXi host, and another test we can try to convert the VM to the vCenter nested ESXi host. So two conversions we can do it today. And now let's minimize and you can open our VMware Converter standalone. As per VMware recommendation, when you're launching the wizard, right click the VMware Converter and choose Run as Administrator. Okay, see this if you when I open here, we can see our all our previous attempts. Okay, so when I see the previous attempts, even we attempt from 1 to 5 attempts we attempted, and first attempt is failed at 1%. We identified that there is a guest OS compatibility issue. So when we plan to do the conversion and all, the main objective is we have to meet all the conversion requirements. Our both source and destination must able to compatible with our converter version. And the second one, we identified that we tried with the Windows 10 supported operating system, but still there is a some guest OS compatibility, and there is no guest OS compatibility issue, but we identified that there is a one network connectivity issue. So even in the second and third, we tested with a network connectivity issue, still it failed at a 98%. And this morning, I just tried again for the two types of conversions. Again, it's failed at the 98%. So then I realized that there is one of the compatibility troubleshooting guide for VMware converter. So if you just open a VMware converter troubleshooting checklist, you will find a VMware KB article. Let me open a VMware troubleshooting guide or any of the troubleshooting checklist. So if you type in the Google VMware converter troubleshooting, you can see the first KB article is troubleshooting checklist for VMware converter. So once open the troubleshooting checklist, here whenever any converter is failed, you can just go through this checklist. We should meet all this requirement. Suppose today our workstation when we're trying to convert it is failed at a 48%, and also it is saying the error message is an error occurred during the reconfiguration. So that means almost the conversion is completed until 98%. The remaining 2% some reconfiguration error message. So what I suspect for this reconfiguration error is there is no resource crunch in our vCenter and ESXi host, and even our OS also it's a compatible operating system. We are using it Windows 10 operating system. So what I'm thinking is, as per the, I just go through all the points one by one. What I noticed is, let me search with media. When I search with media, see, there is one of the 31st point. It says that ensure that you don't have any virtual mounted media type of connection. Converter can misinterpret these convertible drives. So what it is means is, if you have any virtual connected device in our source virtual machine, better we need to unmount. So this is what I am suspecting for our converter issues. So what we can do is log into our VMware workstation, select our source Windows 10 virtual machine, and if you see here CD DVD, it's already connected with a ISO file. So let's unmount this one and uncheck the device status, and now click on OK. Okay, this is error I'm suspecting why it is failing at a 98%. So now my CD is connected with a no drives are connected. It's in the physical detect and the connectivity status is unchecked. Okay, so there is no any additional devices connected to the source VMware workstation Windows 10 VM. Okay, so now we'll retry the conversion process again. So when you want to try the conversion process again, let's minimize the workstation wizard. Okay, and here you can again click the convert machine. Under the file you can see the option convert virtual machine. Just click on convert virtual machine, and in our specify source you can choose either power on or power off. So but today's session we are doing a power off machine, and that power off machine is running on a VMware workstation. So our relevant option is VMware workstation. So select VMware workstation or other VMware virtual machine option, and then you have to choose your virtual machine configuration file. So configuration file means virtual machine name dot vmx file. So you can browse our VMware Workstation 10. All our virtual machines are running in a document folder. Under the virtual machine folder, you can see Active Directory ESX1, 2, 3, vCenter, Windows 19, and Windows 10. So just open Windows 10 and select our virtual machine configuration file. Now click on open. Configuration file means it's a .vmx file. So now click on open. See our source is mounted with a .vmx file because it's in the power off state. So now when we mount the source information, just click on source details. See here, Windows 10 VMware desktop machine, it is the size is this 20 GB and CPU is 1 CPU, memory is 2 GB. So even we have a very limited configuration here. So we'll test this one. So now click on next. So when we click on next, we have two options in the source destination. So destination can be either vCenter VMware infrastructure virtual machine, or you can choose a VMware workstation. Okay, even again you can convert into a workstation also. So now I'm just selecting VMware infrastructure virtual machine. First, I will try with our vCenter server. So vCenter server IP is 10.80 and enter our vCenter administrator credentials, administrator at the rate vsphere.local and password. So converter security warning, you can safely ignore, and it is showing the default source virtual machine name Windows 10. So if you want to change the name, let's say we are converting this Windows 10 VM to vCenter. So I mentioned for easy understanding VC, and also we are converting from virtual to virtual. So I mentioned the name as V to V, and this is the first conversion for now. So I've just mentioned the name as V to V01. So for our easy identification, and it is also converting directly to vCenter. So I just mention as a VC. Okay, so Windows 10 virtual machine converting to virtual center. It is the conversion type is V2V, and first conversion I mentioned as a V2V01. So now click on next. See here we have three nested ESXi host, ESX1, ESX2, ESX3. So you can choose randomly any ESXi host. Let's say I'm selecting ESX2, and ESX2 connected with a two data stores, local data store and shared data store. So for the time being, I'm just selecting a local data store, and we have the capacity approximately 50 GB, and we have the free space is almost free. Okay, and the block size is 1 MB. And let's select our virtual machine version is latest version 19. Okay, so now click on next. And in our configuration options, we have, if you want to modify any CPU memory, you can able to edit. But currently CPU 1 and memory is 2 GB. Let's leave it default. Even the copy type also disk based copy, and that our disk also a thick disk. Even if you want to modify thick to thin, you can try to modify the thick to thin. Let's say for the time being, I'm just using a default option, and the another second conversion will change it to thick to thin. Okay, so this conversion I'm just going with a default options. There is no modifications I'm doing, but only the recommend option is just uncheck the network. Okay, and services and all, there is no critical services, so let's leave it default. And post conversion options, so it's saying that remove the restore checkpoints and reconfigure destination virtual machine. Maybe we are receiving a reconfiguration stage only, we are receiving the error messages, but we'll see this time what will happen. Okay, so now click on next. See, we have a source is workstation Windows 10 VM, and the destination we are converting to a vCenter server, and it is going to a ESXi 02. Okay, so and it is selecting the data store also, local data store, and disk provisioning type is thick provision. So now click on finish. See, the converter job submitting is in progress. Okay, see, now we can see the running status is in progress. If you don't want to view this failed information, just go to the task, and you can select for only the running one. So select running one. See, in our converter wizard, now the sixth job is running, and the source is VMware Workstation VM Windows 10, and the destination is our vCenter server VM. So when I select this option, in the below you can see the task information. See, the task progress is running. Even if you select the summary tab, you can see the summary of source information, destination information, and what will be the destination configuration details. Okay, even here the source is Windows 10 and destination is workstation conversion. Okay, from the workstation VM, converting workstation VM to vCenter virtual machine. Okay, so currently the progress is 2%. Go to the task progress. You can see the CPU, what is the conversion speed, 2% complete, and running time is 1 minute, and estimated time is approximately 53 minutes, and the transfer rate is 4.28 MB. Okay, because we are converting from workstation VM to one of the nested ESX hosts. So within a virtual network, we are trying to convert. So we may expect a slight delay. Suppose if I'm converting directly to a ESX physical box, so then the conversion may be bit faster. Suppose if I open our vCenter server, I just removed the physical ESX box. If I connect directly to the ESX server, our ESX4 IP address is 192.168.10.74. Let's try to log in here. See, this is our direct physical ESXi host, and it is running with a Intel NUC model, and we have a 64 GB of memory, and CPU we have 6 CPUs. And even currently, how many data stores we have? We have one local data store, and the total capacity is approximately 337.5 GB, and provisioned is completely nothing was provisioned here. Almost all the space is free, and the file system is VMFS6. So we'll try to convert to direct ESXi host also now. Okay, so again open our converter, VMware converter wizard. Let's this conversion, it may take some time. Let's let it run, and in the meantime we'll try to convert one more conversion. So convert machine, and the, same, you can choose the same power of virtual machine, Windows 10. Click on next. Okay, here instead of assigning our vCenter server IP, you can change it to the direct ESXi host IP address. Okay, and ESXi host login credentials are root is the administrator and assign enter our VMware password, ESXi4 password. Now click on next and converter security warning ignore, and the default name it is showing as Windows 10. So for our easy conversion we are just converting to the ESX host. So Windows 10 converting to ESX host, and this is a V2V conversion 02. Let's say I just given the name as 02 for our easy understanding, and now click on next. See, ESXi04 is selected, and data store I'm using present. We have only one local data store. Let's leave it the default one. And now click on next. And a previous conversion, we haven't modified the disk status to thick to thin. So this time we'll try to test with a disk format. We can change from thick to thin. Okay, and the CPU memory, anyhow it is a less CPU less memory, only one CPU and memory 2 GB, so leave it default. And network, we can uncheck the network, and the services present there is no critical services, so let's leave it default. And advanced options also, we can the power on and all VMware tool installation we can perform later, so you can use the default settings. And the CPU throttling settings also, no need to modify anything here. So now click on next. See, source is our workstation Windows 10, and destination this time instead of vCenter, I am directly converting to physical ESXi host. I'm expecting that when we select the physical ESXi host, our network conversion may be bit faster because our ESX is a physical box. It's not a virtual ESX. Okay. So now click on finish, and it will try to submit another conversion job is in progress. See, if you see the job ID 7, the conversion is started and the conversion status is 1%. So we may expect, because this is a physical ESX box compared to virtual ESXi host, the conversion may be bit faster. See, it's already in a 6% and the data transfer rate is 58 MB. Okay, so these conditions also you can find from a VMware troubleshooting checklist for VMware converter, and KB article is 1016330. When you see this article, all the points also you can easily identify from this all the points. There are totally 31 points. Okay, you can just go through this article when you get the spare time. Let's minimize and we can see our conversion status. If you see the first conversion, the transfer rate is 3.75 MB speed. Suppose in the direct physical ESXi host, the transfer rate is high transfer rate. It's a 57, approximately 57 Mbps per second. And even the estimation time for remaining conversion is 5 minutes. And for the workstation conversion, it's taking little longer time. So we can observe this time also, will it fail at 98% or will it success or not? Okay. So when we select this conversion, in the right side, you will find the description, task description also, when we initiated the time and what is the status of conversion status now. All the notes you can find from the log highlight section. Okay, it is going bit faster now at 95%, 97, 98. Oh, seems it is completed. See, there is no job ID here. Again, go to the job and you can select as all jobs. So when I select the all jobs, you will find the previous failed one, and where is our completed one? Let me select the completed. All I selected. Seems to be our seventh job also showing as failed at 98%. Again, we are seeing the same error reconfiguration. What I am suspecting is almost the conversion is completed, but still it is showing as this error message. based on the troubleshooting checklist, what I noticed, this is one of the safely ignorable warning. So let me log into the ESXi host and we can see, are we able to power on this converted V2V02 VM or not? Okay, so open the VMware workstation, VMware ESXi host, ESXi host 04. When I see the ESXi host, in our virtual machine tab, already the converted VM is converted successfully, but it's failed at a 98%. That means conversion is almost completed. Only during the reconfiguration, it got error message. So during the reconfiguration means what I am suspecting is in order to complete successfully, uh, another guessing for the reconfiguration error is, let's quickly try one more time. 74 host and Windows 10. Let's say this time V2V03. So third conversion. Okay. And ESX host is same. And here, if you see the advanced options, there is a reconfigured destination VM. Maybe another suspicion for me is even this option also getting error message. Let's uncheck these options and we'll try. Okay. So now click on finish. So another eighth job ID, eighth is running. And how about the seventh one, V2V conversion 02? Let me try to power on whether we are able to successfully power on the virtual machine or not. See V2V3, see currently it is showing the user space unknown state. Let's try, select the VM and click on power on. If we are able to power on means the virtual machine converted successfully, only the reconfiguration level, it's got the error message. Okay, see it seems to be the power on is running. So that means the conversion is successful only. We are managed to convert workstation VM to ESX virtual machine. So to open this console, you can just click on console and there is a multiple options are available. You can choose browser console or open console in the new window or open console in the new tab. Let for the time being, I'm just selecting open console in a new tab. See, workstation 10 virtual machine successfully converted to our ESXi host. So just send Control Alt Delete to log into the system. So we have the multiple keyboard layouts. Okay, so let's log into this virtual machine. Okay, so we are able to successfully log into the VM. And how about the guest operating system name? See, the disk space is same, and we'll see any IP is assigning or not. See, currently media is disconnected, so that is the reason there is no IP address configured. But remember that while doing the all the reconfiguration and all, we have to configure as per our post conversion steps. Okay, I'm just logging to the add remove programs. Our workstation VM have VMware tools. See the same converter, whatever the source virtual machine have, all the tools are coming to the converted ESXi host VM also. Okay, and our Windows 10 is a evaluation edition. We have evaluation period. You can see here it is showing as Windows license is expired, but once it is converted to ESX, when Microsoft is recommended to update with our latest license. Okay, so hope the job ID, even though it is showing as failed at 98%, conversion is successful, but it is having a problem with reconfiguration. It seems to be how about the other complete? Yeah, if you see the job eighth is completed successfully. Let me select only the completed options and running options. Let's ignore the failed one. Okay, see if you see the job 8, so now it is showing the conversion status is completed. So what I suspect is during the conversion, the reconfiguration option is we have to uncheck. That is only the lesson we learn. Okay. And another thing is when we are doing a conversion, either a source VM, physical VM or VMware workstation VM, we should meet all the all the VMware converter supported checklist. Okay. When we meet all the checklists, then only we can able to convert the source to destination, either V2V or P2B, will be completed successfully. If you see the job ID 8 and our destination VM name is V2V V03, it's completed successfully. Okay. So when it is completed successfully, again log into ESXi host, and ESXi host is 4, and refresh here. See, when I refresh, if you go to the virtual machines tab, see, there is a V2V02, V2V03. And 03 is a configured with a thick disk configuration. That's why usage space is showing as 20 GB. When you select the thin disk configuration, it is showing only 2 GB space. Okay. So we can try to test this VM also. So before test, make sure that this virtual machine network should be in a unchecked state. Okay. See, network adapter is connected, better to uncheck, because our whatever the virtual machine is running on VMware workstation, that VM is assigned with one IP address. So during the conversion process, once the conversion is completed, when we trying to boot up the VM destination converted VM boot up, uncheck the network connection and power on. Okay, this is important point. Once it is powered on, later you can modify your guest OS IP address and connect your network connection state back to previous state. Okay, so select the Windows 10 virtual to virtual 03 and power on. So the power on is in progress. Same like previous. If you want to open the console, you can go to the console, launch open console in new tab. See, VM is successfully booting. So finally, we managed to convert. One conversion is successful, and the remaining conversions also success. Only it was failed at the reconfiguration status. That is also safely ignorable. It's a considered this as a conversion completed, only reconfiguration errors. Those reconfiguration errors we can try to do it the virtual destination virtual machine manual reconfiguration. Okay, so let's uncheck the file. We can monitor only current running status, and one job is completed. And another job, it is showing the time is expected time to complete is 41 minutes. Hope this conversion also will complete successfully shortly. So we managed to complete the V2V conversion successfully for two virtual machines, V2V02, okay, and V2V03. And the guest OS configuration same like our previous one. Log into the guest OS and see it is already successfully loading. And the post provisioning steps, we are aware our post provisioning steps are. So these all we discussed yesterday session. Let me scroll to the post provisioning steps. In our post provision, this is the steps normally we do in a real-time scenario. Power on the virtual machine. Just now we power on the our converted both virtual machines, and VMware tools. Already there is existing VMware tools. Even if you want to uninstall, you can just uninstall and try to install a latest VMware tool version with compatible with the ESXi 7 series. And assign the IP settings, change the computer name, join to the domain. Suppose whatever the domain in your network, the same domain you can join, and install the antivirus and uninstall if there is any hardware agent softwares. I given one example here, and need to verify virtual machine services all are up and running or not. And also the benchmarks. Benchmarks means all the CPU, memory, disk, and NIC. All the services means just log into the Windows run and type the command services.msc and verify that all the automatic services should be running state. Okay, suppose in the production environment, if you have any application like SQL or any applications are running, those application service make sure that all are in a startup type automatic and status should be running state. Okay, the same point I highlighted here. Need to verify virtual machine services all are up and running or not. Currently, all our converted virtual machine services is showing as running state, and benchmarks means CPU, memory, disk, and IC. All the system status looks healthy. And if you want to enable the remote desktop connection, RDP, enable the remote desktop and test the RDP connection. Finally, place the virtual machine in production. Because our VM is successfully running on ESX, you can assign the virtual machine details to your end user. Okay, so this is the post conversion steps. So finally, hope you understand the VMware conversion process, how we can convert a workstation VM to VMware infrastructure virtual machine. So same procedure you can follow for physical infrastructure also. Okay, so this only the highlighted one we tested today. The same procedure is applicable to physical to virtual machine conversion, because in our home lab we do not have a dedicated physical machine, and even our lab system when we are trying to convert also, it is getting error message. Reason is workstation all VMs are up and running. So that's why I'm unable to convert the existing physical lab system. Okay, so we managed to do the lab using a power of virtual machine, successfully converted to ESX and also the vCenter. And vCenter also, it is showing the conversion status is in progress. That means 33%. It may take another 39 minutes to complete. Hope this will also complete. But only the difference is when you use a direct physical ESX box, the conversion rate was bit faster. When I'm using a nested ESX, that means our ESX also a virtual machine only. So virtual machine to again sub nested ESX we are converting. That is where transfer rate is slow. Okay, this is a expected behavior. It may take some time to complete. Okay, so that's it for today. So we can end the session here. Thanks for your time. I'm receiving a very positive response from the YouTube viewers and watchers, and also receiving the positive some valuable feedback emails. So who are watching the and Cloud Garage. Thanks for your support. Okay. And please do view, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks. Thank you, everyone. Thank you again. Thanks for your encouragement and support. Bye for now.